Good afternoon, class. Hope you guys are doing pretty good today. So, now before I get to my topic, I don't want to make my class boring. I want to give you guys the visual of, so that you can understand the topic pretty close. So, my topic is very interesting. It's actually called the lingua franca. Before I talk about that, imagine a bridge between a reef. Uh, well, how does the bridge connect two roads? Let's say in the middle, there's a river. It connects one way to another so that people can go to one direction. Imagine you live in Bangladesh, you want to go to US, or maybe you want to go to Japan or maybe China for the business purpose, or maybe you want to travel, maybe you love travel, travels around the world. So do you use the same language? Of course not. You have to use the language that widely understand by others. Let's say you want to go to the US. So majority of people in the US can understand English. Now I'll get to the parts a little later, so you can tweet them on a slide. But before I go to that, I'm gonna give you a little intro about what is lingua franca. So it actually refers to common language used by people from diverse backgrounds. Remember, this diverse background represents for all culture. It doesn't even include only one language. Imagine India. They speak Hindi. That's like their main language. In Bangla, we use standard Bangla. I was actually giving an example. Let's say someone live in Chittagong or someone live in Dhaka that you want to do, that maybe you want to have a communication, so that you want to grow up a business. They have to come to some conclusions where they have to speak in a language that's understandable for both of them. So that's what we call the lingua franca. Well, I actually live in English. The reason why I found that 1.5 billion people speak English under as native, like native speaker or second language. Actually, English is actually wide known language for lingua franca. And of course, you can ask questions. Why do you use lingua franca in our day-to-day life? Well, of course, to connect people in different backgrounds, to make trade or maybe travel around the world, or to to help people to engage. And for all of this, I can of course go to the US, and most of the things I'll be studying and learning from English for sure. And I actually want given the live example how we understand about the lingua franca. It's the more example you bring, the better we understand about that. So, but I'm gonna say again. Imagine you love Switzerland and you maybe want to travel there. So if you go there, the people you're gonna meet, they're not gonna understand Bangla. However, maybe you're not gonna understand the Switzerland language. So you have to speak maybe international language to be able to make your communication and to make them understand what you mean. So this is about my topic. So if anyone has any questions, please raise your hand or maybe you can ask to it. Anyone ask a question?
Sir, may I ask a question, please? So, sir, basically my question is, if you look at India, it's a multilingual country. There are people who speak in Tamil, Telugu, Gujarati, Marathi, so as well as Hindi. So, why would they pick Hindi as the lingua franca?
Well, it's pretty obvious because Hindi is widely spoken language. And if you think India, the first language that will come on your mind is Hindi. I'm asking you now questions. Since in India, what language comes first? Is Hindi Gujarati? Is it Marathi? Is it Tamil? No, sir. Hindi. Why? Because widely Hindi is very exact. So widely spoken languages in that's why the Indian is like their main language. To make communications to each other.
Because I particularly my youth and
What is English considered as a lingua franca?
Okay, the main reason is an international language. And I already told 1.5 billion people right now in the world like speaking English as their first language and their second language.
So, is there a relationship between international language like your tata?
It is. I found a little relation because, man, there's a lot of languages I can't even name if common languages are out there, right? So since it's an international language and it's possible, I want to show you so interesting. So first extra FUB, maybe I told you if I called you a trade language, I called the bridge language and vehicular language. Therefore, you can of course call English as a lingua franca. A person?
Metaphorically, DT.